There's a disease that is spreading like a fungus underneath people's skin. And that disease tried to reach out to me today. It's like venom. It's like the symbiote. But like, not the one that talks about like tater tots and chocolate. I'm talking about that weird one. That Topher Grace Spider-Man 3 type shit. This disease reached out to me today in the form of a video that I wanted to listen to. And it was called something like, yeah, man, everything sucks, actually. Ensh ttification explained. And that's a really funny word, so like, I figured I'd listen to it. But my signal dropped, I wasn't able to pull it up. I was like, maybe there's a reason. And that's what I propose to you today. The reason that I wasn't able to pull that up, other than the, completely random and, likely meaningless lack of cell phone signal that I had at the spot I was on in the road, is that this disease is the negative disease. It's being a downer. Why is it so easy to agree that everything has been enshittified? Even when you're living a good life. Not everybody is. I'm not living the best life, for sure. But I have a lot of things in certain ways, from a certain point of view, that a lot of people would envy. Some of the things I've managed to do, or some of the things I've gone through without like accruing massive debt or something like that, I don't got big cars or anything crazy like that. I don't got a big house. But even for the little I do have, that's a lot more than a lot of other people have. So how come it's so easy to be like, man, everything sucks? I don't really know the answer to that. But it's easy to be negative and cynical. So I propose even though a lot of people don't really have anything for, this sentiment, or for coming to, what I'm about to say, I propose the idea of revisiting, one of the all-time classics of literature and where I grew up. Which is, of course, down south, the Bible. The Bible. Now, I'm not talking like, you'll be less negative if you read the Bible. Because, like, it's really actually easy to do the opposite of that, man. There's a lot of negative stuff in there, man. You read the first half of the Christian Bible, and like half of what's going on there is just everybody just doing bad stuff. I'm not talking like, bad like, your Uncle Cletus, doesn't like, whatever group that's just not popular with like modern American Christians right now. I'm not talking that. I mean like just heinous stuff. You got some modern day serial killer stuff going on near the back half or the back end of the first half of the Christian Bible. You got cult shit going on in the front half. And then you got God just the whole time being like, what are you doing, But then depending on who you ask, especially in like scholarly fields, you got God saying to do this stuff. It's real easy to be negative. It's very easy to read that and just feel worse, honestly. And you can even get some of that from the New Testament. As interesting as the allegory and future predicting and the storyline, the conclusion of the last book of the Christian Bible is, that's like probably the source of negativity and religious trauma for most people. The bloodiest, freakiest, most frightening piece of like culturally effective religious literature. Because everybody is up on the chopping block. But what I'm talking about is the piece of scripture in the end of the Christian Bible, or in the back half rather, where Jesus is asked, what's the greatest commandment? And he says, love your God and love your neighbor. And I think we have a set idea of what that's supposed to mean here in America. Maybe even in just like the Western European affected thought, right? But I was thinking about this, kind of talking to a friend of mine about like what the two most important things for life are. I'd like to reframe this idea for a second in a semi-secular way. I don't want to get too analytical or anything like that. But take the religion out of it for a second and elaborate a little bit. And kind of look at what that means. So let's look at the second part of that, the love your neighbor, right? I was really thinking about like what gives life meaning. For a lot of people, it's that you die. Especially if you don't have an afterlife to look forward to in your belief. And there is a tragic beauty in thinking that everybody loves a good tragedy. Everybody loves a sad story. Everybody's favorite character in Star Wars is Anakin, because his story is a tragedy. If it's not Anakin, it's Obi-Wan, because his story is a freaking tragedy. He loses his dad, basically, and then he has to raise his brother, and then he freaking fails at that, and everyone in his family and friends dies because he fails at that, basically. We won't blame it all on Obi-Wan, but like, if Anakin had had the dad that he deserved instead of the brother dad, Obi-Wan's family and friends would not be dead. Obi-Wan's failing truly is the tragedy. Everybody loves a tragedy. But life is not always defined by tragedy. I think the most meaningful value of life is care. And that I think is what love your neighbor means. It's not just your friend. You know, on everybody who's been in a church has heard the sermon. It's not just your friend or your brother or your mom or your dad or whatever. It's you know, literally the person in like a close proximity to you that you can affect positively. But I dare say it's even farther beyond that. It's your animals. It's the world around you, your environment, your home, what you're in charge of, all of that. Because you can work on a car to fix it and hate the whole process and just be mad at it, cussing at it, throwing freaking tools because nothing's working right. Freaking, you know, just trying to get through it, get it done, check off all the boxes and get out of there. You can be clocking into your job, spacing out and walking out at the end of the day, not even really know what you've done, and just get by. You can go into task mode, just do things. You can do everything and not live anything. You can go to concerts, you can like attend meetings, you can go to church or a library or freaking the bar. You can just do things, but you're not doing anything. But when you put care and a little bit of reverence into what you're doing, it's almost like it's too pedantic to put it quite as far as what I'm about to say, but in a sense, like, treat everything like it's holy or like it's sacred. You know, I mean, if you're working on a car and fixing it, it's still a marvel of the creation of man. It's 2026, like 100 and some years ago, driving 75 miles an hour in a Toyota Camry was not even a freaking idea. not even a concept. It was just like, yo, this little box with wheels on it can drive straight. Don't hit a tree though. It was just like, God, we can move faster now. We moved to our jobs that would have been a whole freaking journey to get to for some people. A whole, like, pilgrimage. Like it's nothing because we're in a little freaking rocket on wheels that's powered by explosions that move it forward. That's crazy. You know? You can enjoy every element of the flavor of the drink you're having and have more of a valuable experience eating a tray of fried freaking pickles and having one like mixed drink at a bar than having a whole freaking hamburger platter and like, I don't know, 4 beers. A little bit of reverence for what you're doing. A little bit of care for what comes out of you. Intention. I think when you put it that way, it's not just, you know, have compassion for your neighbor. It's not just, you know, love them in the sense that it's like, you know, you treat every person with respect or whatever. It's like put care into everything you say and do. Think about it. Not like overthink it, but like, you know, really just be in check. Like, am I putting out something good? Is the energy you put out energy that's been put out with care? You only got so much of it to give. So it's care, and then like, that's for what's going out. Then for what's coming in, for what you see versus what you do, what makes life full. Care by itself does not make life full. Awe makes life full. Being able to look up at the vast sky over you and just be like amazed. Or like I said yesterday, looking out at the ocean and being like so overwhelmed with awe that you literally can't think about the things that like plague you every day. Being in awe even at the sheer like power of emotion and persuasion and things like that. Choosing awe when you have the choice, and holding care and using it when you do things. And we can argue about like what loving God means. If you're theistic, then yeah, you're gonna say that you know means literally, you know, devotion to the divine being, the deity. But if we're not putting it within those constructs, within that boundary, then awe of the creator creation of God, let's say. Or the creation of man, like God created. With the choice to then use that awe to inspire every action you do being done with care. That's loving your God. What better way to show love to the Maker, the one that creates, than to be in awe of what He created, and in honor of the awe that He inspired in you by creating, dedicate yourself to caring for that creation that He has left in the hands of people powerful enough to care. What greater love for God than to see the creation that He cared and painstakingly made in a tree, and making it your duty in His honor and in the legacy of what He created to protect that thing, not destroy it. And the people to protect and care for people, His favorite creation. In the Christian story, in the Jewish story, in the Muslim story, His favorite creation is people. What greater act of love for your God than to take the creation that He loves the most and care for it the most, like He cared. Focusing on Ensh and how everything sucks, that gives you permission to put people in with that. Actors and celebrities aren't as cool or as interesting anymore. Friends aren't as cool or good as they used to be. Family sucks. Strangers, God, strangers. F them guys. And that's the disease. Focusing on how everything has become enshittified gives you permission and blackens your drive and your ability to adhere to the greatest commandment. Love your neighbor and love your God. Treat everyone with care and everything with care. And do it because you are compelled to by awe. Hold awe like it is gold, and let that gold, that awe, inspire you to care. It's pithy, but it's true. That's all I got for today. See ya.